So at that point, the Texas Historical Commission has 30 days to reply back to our request. And they replied back to us. I just wanted to share that information that we received. You should have it there in your packet, that they're going to require a archaeological assessment on the fairground. And should you be successful in receiving funding from the Texas Parks and Wildlife, you couldn't move forward with the project until that archaeological assessment was completed and submitted, and they had time to review that. Another thing that was brought to our attention that we had no idea, and
that's a good way to start.
is that the grandstand and the racetrack was constructed back in the early 30s with WPA, with working after President Roosevelt there. They put people back to work. And so that could be kind of sensitive. I just wanted to sort of share that with the court. I'm not sure if anybody in here knew that. I didn't know it. It was information to me. And so it's not ever been recognized as a national historical element, but it could, if the county wanted to do that, recognize it, move forward with that intent.
It would create more problems.
Well, and the good thing about it though is that this plan, as far as the grandstands and all that, the master plan does not call to remove or move or relocate or any part of that. So, but yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, the intent of the court, you want to move forward with the archaeological assessment, or you want to wait on that?
Who's paying for it? Does that come out of the grant, or who pays for it?
Well, the county would have to fund it now, but it should be a reimbursable deal if you got funded.
If you got it.
Would that take a motion, Judge?
So do we,
Well, we'll wait to see.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it before, so let's wait and see if we got funded, and then we can pay for it out of that.
Right.
so we'll just bring this back if we get the funding.
Okay.
All right. All right, item 22, approving resolution to apply for Border Prosecution Unit funds, additional $600K from House Bill 9, Operation Lone Star, period of performance 9/1/2021 to 8/31/2023.
We're gonna use this for,
It's, BPUs would be,
yes,
have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? 5-0 vote. One of the things the conversation, we had earlier, we're receiving a lot of, grant money. So at some point, we're probably gonna have to look at somebody to sort of keep track of I know that we had the meeting last week and everybody had their own little piece to this puzzle. That Sheriff is gonna do one, and Carl, y'all doing one, and Matt, and everything, but we're probably gonna need to do a centralized location to where we can keep the court updated as to what's going on with all these grants. There's just too much money now that we're gonna go after. So we're probably gonna put an item, not probably, we're gonna put an item on the agenda, that way we keep track of every one of these grants on a meeting by meeting basis. That way the public, I know Matt's shaking his head up and down, always transparency, so, we're gonna do something and put an item on the agenda just to try to keep track of all these grants and make sure that we're not questions, we don't have answers for the questions. Item 23, we already did. Item 24, discussion possible action to approve the IWORK, or IWORQ, service agreement of application and service for precinct 3 and granting authority county judge to sign. Service agreement in the amount of $10,000 for 1 year.
This program will actually help us, it will get us, we can do more orders and track our equipment and manpower, we can do different jobs, and we'll do skiing on other projects, we'll have that, so it'll be paid for out of my precinct. I make a motion to approve and authorize it.
Motion Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 25, discussion possible action to approve lease agreement between Valverde County and USDA on 5-acre lease. Commissioner Flores.
Motion to approve, pending county.
Second.
Motion Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 26, discussion possible action request from Commissioner Court to finalize previously approved salary for BPU investigator Tom White. On this one here, let's see if it should put it in. There was it says approved 65, if you'll go to your page, BPU investigator Tom Wiley has been approved to 65,000, but will need retro pay effective September 1st, 2021, because changes have not been reflected in his pay. Amount already approved in the BPU fiscal year 2021-2022 budget, currently effective. When I looked, in the budget we approved, it wasn't 65. It was like 62, 63.
The budget from the state was 65. We did not get those numbers from the state until after we passed the budget. Okay, so those budgets, that could be increased when you do a budget adjustment. Probably should have been done at that time, we'll do that now or later, but we did not get the letter about the new hire until October 4th. So that would be the retro pay. But it is approved to go to that amount from the state, which is the state funded position.
So it's paid for by the,
It is correct, it is paid for by the state, which we didn't get that finalized number until around September 30th, which was 30 days after the budget was passed.
and then the retro part,
So the retro part is
not
is
enough.
also good
It's
for
funded.
us.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 27, discussion possible action to approve the proposal for digital processing services regarding plats for Valverde County Clerk's office, and said proposal to be paid from Valverde County Clerk's Records Management Fund, and authorize the judge to sign sales order.
Second.
Motion Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 28, discussion possible action to accept a check donation in the amount of $100 from San Felipe Del Rio Library. If you wanted to beat everybody on that one, motion Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 29, authorizing county judge to sign liability renewal questionnaire. It's for our insurance.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 30, approval of issuing 2 county credit cards, one for travel and one for county purchase. The purchasing agent, Melissa Vasquez. I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 31, approval of issuing a county cell phone for purchasing agent's use. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 32, approving the advertisement and submission of bids for the following items related to the Alcoa Field projects. 1, irrigation for Babe Ruth, irrigation for the Babe Ruth field, Babe Ruth size field, fencing for the Babe Ruth field, grass and skin infield, sports lighting and electrical. Basically, we're gonna go out for bids for all this stuff that our engineer that we've already paid has, come up with.
Why don't we do it this way, each individual thing separate? Why are we not just doing a contract for the whole entire thing?
We wanted to, we only have $340,000 for everything, so this way we can pick and choose.
Motion to approve.
Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 33, approving a lease agreement between Valverde County and Christmas Market on behalf of, Carla Flores. What does it
Motion
say?
to approve.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second.
Second.
Commissioner Flores, what is it? This is
They she wants to do like a yard sale type deal there at the apartment on the curves.
okay. I have a motion, we have a second, any other discussion?
I'm sorry?
This is a non-profit,
No, for businesses.
so we're charging them the regular rate.
Yes.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. list on ongoing projects that are through the fairgrounds and building maintenance, Edward?
Garrison first, Dunaway.
We have the,
Councilman Pecan.
commission that's about to be completed probably today or tomorrow morning. The new probation office, that's also completed. Ram and his staff were moving in computers yesterday and all desks and chairs have been, put together. The installation of the ramps at the fairgrounds, the ramps have been put up, staircases have been put up, we're just pending the string. We do have to build a gate or a fence around the electrical panel box outside, that's for city code. And then we have on section K to build a storage room there. It's been backfilled and, we're just pending the concrete on it, so once we finish these other projects, and we'll have that on that. The R panel at the 4H, we left about 2 weeks worth of work. I have to pull the guys out to work short staffed and, to finish the other project, and we can jump on this one.
And then real quick, Sheriff's Office, was that the first thing you mentioned?
Yes,
Okay, so basically you have a lot of projects that are going to be complete this week.
yes.
And then you mentioned the 4H. You're gonna get back to that one when?
As soon as we wrap up with the sheriff's office, I'll have them do the,
Next week?
maybe before the end of the week.
Next week?
So next week, yeah.
We have a dog show on the 18th of December, that needs to be completed. The other day, the gaps, making it going. So it needs to be completed before the dog show.
Yeah, on the show side, there's always been those gaps, we have
Well,
the,
this is where you're putting the new tin, the old tin.
okay, I mean, we can visit after this,
Right when you walk in, the big sliding door, you look straight up, right there.
Oh, yes, we stopped that because the seals were the wrong shape. For the other side, there needs to be sealed completely, so, and we got those in already.
How many employees do you have?
Once they're complete, there's a total of 11 employees,
Which are complete with what?
the full staff.
That you haven't got everybody hired.
I got everybody looking?
You haven't got everybody hired yet?
No, sir, we,
Okay, but your answer your question, that is just building maintenance, that's not the other 4 people that the court hired. So there's 11 plus 4. The other 4 were hired, I think, in March. And they're down to two there, but it's the 11 plus. The sheriff's office, adult probation, those are pretty much, I think y'all worked yesterday on adult probation moving stuff also.
yes.
Okay, so when y'all get done with those, if y'all can wrap, like whatever y'all need to do on that, then I think the concern was on the 4H. We moved that on Monday back to 4H. And he's got 2 people that he hired out of insurance money for that, but he's gonna pull people to go get that done. He's in the process right now also of renting a Skytrack in order to help put the sheets up on top. The conversation we had yesterday was, a week or 2 weeks, I told him, go ahead and rent it for a month. We've got a bunch of things, the tin that was taken off all the other buildings, some of the tin that y'all wanted to use, like for a fence or whatever. I asked him yesterday if he'll rent this Skytrack, that way he can move that stuff and count every single sheet, and that would bring it back to the court, see what y'all are gonna wanna do with it. I know that some of the longer sheets of tin that were pulled off of that back shed row, those right there don't have the insulation. I told him to move those all up front, put them in bundles, and then get a count, bring it to the court and see what the court's gonna wanna do with it. I know that there's been, commissioners that have expressed interest in that, and like for sheds, we've got a lot of new equipment coming in. But I asked him to, again, to rent the Skytrack, bring it in, get all that stuff stacked and bundled and counted and separated, by length, and also, some of the stuff is the same length, but it had the insulation to separate all that and bring that back to the court.
So like the 10-yard stacking in the back over there, or all that needs to be gone before that's stopped. We don't need somebody, it needs to go somewhere, I don't know, it doesn't need to be here. And I'll let you finish your question.
We need to rerun water lines at the fairgrounds as well. We've had, several leaks inside the arena. I don't know, I mean, I guess as soon as we're done with all this, we need to also redirect those lines or rerun the new lines. And that's, pretty much it, and then also we got the daily work orders that come in and prioritize as they're coming in.
And your horsepower, you've been working on horsepower, where we have it.
So we've already replaced the roof on section K, and, we've been doing the doors, we took off all the broken doors, we're repairing these doors, those middle doors. That's what we're doing.
And then the 5 shed roads that had issues, the older shed roads, the process of getting those cleaned up has stopped. Why they had not gone out for bids anymore, not him, but why it had not gone out for bids anymore, I don't know. But did visit with Carlos, and Carlos said that, he had turned all that stuff over. It had stopped, and I know that he's gonna work with Melissa right now to get that process going again. We did have, a company that we could go like through the insurance or whatever, that they'd given us a company that could clean up and remove all that. So, I asked them to get that process going again, but we're not gonna start any major projects until we get done with what we already have. We're just gonna put a halt to jumping off again. He's got a list of stuff that he wants to get done. 4-H is the most important one right now because we've already started it, and that will start next Monday. Right?
You have a maintenance crew that you leave at the ball field?
Yes, there's one guy that's there on a daily basis.
And I can get you a list. I asked him to get us a list of who he has where, and, he'll send that list to give it to Elizabeth, so you can send it to all the commissioners. That way they'll have an idea of where you're sending everybody and where you keep them.
Pedro, what events do you have scheduled between now and the end of the year?
There's nothing other than what got presented today. And, Copa de la Amistad, nobody reached out for me on that one, so that, I guess, was canceled.
What are y'all doing that, office, double wide refrigerator or whatever it was?
That would be the office for the fairgrounds.
What are y'all gonna do? I don't know, I mean, the parking area, are y'all using it already? Or-
No, sir.
Y'all waiting?
We need to-
We're waiting to get, all the internet stuff installed, and that's some of the stuff that also gotta get done with that office. We'll jump in there.
We had an issue with the city. And Carlos took care of that, so we've got power now. They're putting the ramps, like he said, they're fixing to do the skirting, and then go through, we figured we'd, house the tracers there, keep them having to move them everywhere, and then they're gonna be housed there also. But we just got power, like, 2 weeks ago. Right, but we've been waiting with the panel already done for 3 months. 5 months, with the panel done. So we had issues, I must say, we had issues with the city. We kept getting yes, no, maybe, and then we had a meeting with them, and then there was no more issue.
It seems like, Mr. Eckert, one too many projects going over there. I know they, help, or,
But don't open up that can of worms.
You don't have any other questions on the projects that he's got?
Are those tires considered trash or they have value? That stack of tires,
I'm working with Melissa on that to get them auctioned off.
so they do have value.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
That's an eyesore.
I'm trying to find something to do.
Judge, what are you looking at? That's your thing. That's the judge's tires.
All right, what plan to finish that building, to do something along 15th Street to make that thing look a little nicer around there?
Yeah, so I know when I first started, there was conversations of putting up bar panels as a fence, and then putting some of the same fence that's there now, so I don't know, I mean, whatever you guys decide, we can.
We bought the material to put up the.
Well, y'all are 30.
Yeah. Now, I'd like to see us do something nice. I mean, I drive on the street all the time and, yeah, I really need some help. But if we could put some art panel in there and then maybe get some of our local artists to do some nice stuff along that so it looks nicer than what it looks now.
Something nice to do for that.
If you could put
Well,
something together.
I'm for doing like the original fence, Elwood Bar. The art panel will be looking old and cheap quick.
If you go in there and make it nice.
Y'all did, I figured out.
Yeah.
On the fence.
Say what?
Huh?
Just from Cedar, if he could do.
He's playing with you there.
No,
Item 35, list of broken equipment. We had a bunch of equipment out there. I asked him to bring it back. There's gonna be some stuff that he's gonna put on for auction. As of today, and correct me if I'm wrong, Edgar, but as of today, none of the big farm tractors work.
No.
Right.
Now, what about the Sky? I thought we had a Sky.
We do, one of the pistons is leaking, and they need to pump the piston out to take it to somebody, and so we have somebody to take it to.
How long has it been running?
Since about 3 months. Yeah. And we tried taking it out, and I looked for the deal that you sent me that day to extract that pin, and since it's on clearance, there's no telling when they'll get it out.
So then, when we leave here this afternoon, we'll go pop it out. Okay. We'll go pop that out. For the month,
$300.
yeah, it's like 325, or 285. About 180.
It's $2,300. You couldn't get $180 pin.
25.
Yeah, I get it, but, I think in the future, the county, we need to hire a mobile mechanic, you know, we should receive for, I mean, for things like this.
Well, we already trying to people in contract with to come, when we can't.
But, you know,
Or we get it fixed or whatever.
I'm saying, you know, county government, that way, we can call them right now, and go there. Contractor,
The trailer was the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one of those things that when something breaks, we need to get it fixed. It's not like we don't have the money in the budget. It ends up costing us more money down the road. The thing about your part of it is without the equipment, you can't do it. I watched them at the 4-H barn with that little skid steer, smoke boiling out of it, and they're trying to put a tin on top of the roof, and it's dangerous. Very, very dangerous for our employees, and, it needs to get fixed. If it breaks, it needs to get fixed. Especially if it's a $200 fix. A $200 fix is probably $3,000 before it's over.
2565. Okay, any other questions on item 35? None? We'll go to item 36, approving a lease agreement between Valverde County and ABO Kickball League on behalf of Greg Martinez. This we had on 2 weeks ago. The individual called, wanted to know if he could, if I could put it back on the agenda. He said that, bottom line is, I think the field 3, the one he wants to use, that's softball. Softball does not have a hill in the middle of it, does not have a pitcher's mound.
We're only gonna use softball.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 37, approving the lease agreement between Valverde County and Feeding the Line, featuring Chuck Wagons of Rio on behalf of Don Lewis. He's gonna come in on Thanksgiving and feed law enforcement. He wants to use the fairgrounds to do that. I would,
Motion to approve and to waive the
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 38, discussion of possible action requesting authorization to apply for and accept 2022 Operation Lone Star Grant Program and to approve the resolution.
I will make a motion to do this. You're going to get us a list of what you're buying?
Yes, sir, we have a list that we're, worked on. We have some high-ticket items on this list. This list, once it's submitted, it's applied for, I guess, the grant folks up in Austin will tell us yea or nay on the item we request.
What items?
So we have a list, of course, of boats on there, we've got drones.
Do you have copies of that list, Sheriff?
Sir?
Would you have copies of that?
I've got one copy,
Well, I'm just saying that way with all the commissioners.
Yeah, so, Tom, can you talk about that?
Gonna take them all away, right? Are we dragging or is it just me? Right? No? I don't think we're dragging. You get them up?
Judge, while we wait, item 39 is the same as item 38. It's the same grant.
Why are we buying tickets? I thought we were at 100.
The only truck that I asked, and he has on their boat, the 2,500. That's the one, that's the only one that I asked. I don't know about the other ones, but the 2,500, I asked for a 2,500 4x4 just to pull the boat.
No, that's another price. Or is it just the price in the wrong spot? Is that it?
Sir?
There's three of them.
1,500 is, you get three vehicles, you're Chevrolet 1,500 4x4, 3,500, and then another 1,500.
I think he's got $65,232 each, more or less, and that's where he came up with the 195, 696 for all three.
Why do we need all three? Didn't we just do a deal with Enterprise?
Enterprise moving kind of slow. Some of these are to replace some of the, our other vehicles that are used for, deputies that are working on grants, or off grants over time. So that's to replace those vehicles there. They're all high mile vehicles.
The total grant is 2.8.
2.8.
We're buying a new body camera.
So the current system that we have now, it's, ViewVault, I believe, or Digital Ally. That's on the body cameras. So the ones that we have on the in-car video are not working properly. They're basically at the end of life. So we're gonna go with, Digital Ally, one system for both the body and the in-car video. And there'll be, right now, we're struggling with the server on the ones that we have that's basically at end of life. So all this will be stored on the cloud.
We have a new mobile command center.
Yes, sir.
We don't currently have one.
We have a small one that doesn't, for the event that we,
That's a private trailer that you have now.
sir,
The private trailer you have now?
we have a small, unit that could put 3 people in it, but, you know, after.
The unit that you're talking about, that's that, like a van looking deal,
A
right?
van looking deal, yeah, it doesn't.
You're talking about a bigger, like a motorhome.
We're talking a mobile bus with all the, equipment that it needs to operate remotely.
One of the things that I asked if they could look into, and I guess I'm looking at the price, that's probably it. When you get out to these locations, and I know it sounds silly, there's no place to go to restroom. You know, it just, you know, we were sort of laughing, but not laughing, as to maybe actually have a good commode versus,
That's included.
yeah. And, you know, we were down there, and, you know, you went down there Wednesday right after Commissioner's Court, and I mean, you know, it's just rough. And I hate saying it like that, because the dollar amount, that isn't what that's all about, but it encompasses that.
Is that in town?
Yeah, those were brand new. They actually got a price.
What was the question, Judge?
The generator lights, I was making sure the 8,000.
Yes.
I thought they were higher than that.
He actually got a quote. He got a
When
quote.
I asked you where you're going to fishing, you need to shoot,
Sheriff, did you check on the command center that we talked about in the surplus?
I couldn't find it.
Yeah, there was a command center that was listed on there.
Yeah, I looked on there and I couldn't find it.
The one that they had in San Antonio had the one like with the slide out, it was on a truck with the slide outs.
That's
It was in terrible shape,
you what?
or it was in bad shape.
That sounds like what the sheriff needs. Had a commode.
No, but I got pictures, yeah, I did.
Oh,
That's it. Yeah, it didn't work. The other concern, is this gonna be the whole list?
So we just need to include, so we included the overtime to match basically the same thing that, from the Stone Garden grants. So that's that same dollar amount, but that's basically kind of includes everything.
Okay. The reason is, I mean, there has to be, I mean, at the end of the day, there has to be money left aside there, because, I mean, we're still gonna be able to apply for funds for our county attorney, our county court at law, our Mr. Bowen, stuff like that. So, I guess what I'm saying is you need to stop it right there if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay, because
As long as
this
trim a
is,
little bit off of that, Judge, but not much.
okay. Well, I mean, again, I mean, there has to be money left. I know that these are important, but there's only so much funding out there, and we're gonna have reoccurring expenses that we haven't even put on here yet.
Yeah.
You know, we still got to cover all of them, the attorney, court costs, and there's a lot of stuff you you're matching overtime on the grant, you already get overtime for.
So we're always running out of overtime, and the months that we go 3 or 4 months a year out of from one grant.
Stone Garden?
Yes, so we run out of that, and we got another small grant, and we gotta limit the hours as to what our deputies can work on that.
I just want to make sure there's enough, because there is a lot of other costs that this county has, not just your department, that we have to fund, and just, once this 2.8 is gone, that's it. You know, we're gonna have ongoing costs in the county attorneys, the DA, the county clerk, judges, that leaves us 1.3 million for that use. I mean, I understand you want a lot of stuff, and I get it. I'm not sure we need 3 grand vehicles, I get the one that you need for the budget. I'm not sure we need.
Can you do without the other two?
The other 2 vehicles,
Mhm.
or what are you talking about, Judge?
It's 1,500 4x4 and another 1,500 4x4, and I know that we could put them in here and they'll be paid through here, but, can we go back later on and ask for them later?
Are we going after another 260,000?
250.
250?
Sir,
Isn't there another grant for 250,000
there's another one that,
Carl?
or working on?
Well, actually, I came to the court a couple of weeks ago. You approved the application for Operation Lone Star. That application, or that awareness, was just to make sure that the county had their foot in the door. And since that time, when that was approved, the governor's office pre-approved Val Verde County, because they are a border county, for $2.8 million, okay? That pre-award is separate and apart from the resolution that y'all adopted a few weeks ago. So the sheriff this morning is addressing the court with a pre-award of $2.8 million. So with my intellectual capacity, I went in yesterday and deleted the original application and the key grants that was blank. So it would not interfere with the application that the sheriff's department is putting together. And so that was discussed, and they had our grant meeting about a week ago over here at the auditor's office.
But I thought what we discussed was to do the 250 also.
So since that time, I visited with Cody Phelps at the governor's office. And he informed me yesterday, after all that, I was out of the office, but anyhow, he informed me, I talked to him yesterday evening, that the county, if they so choose, can submit a subsequent application if they have additional proposed expenditures between now and August 2023, above and beyond the $2.8 million. So you're anticipating proposed expenditures for the next 2 years in regards to Operation Lone Star that is above and beyond the $2.8 million, well, then that can be incorporated into that other application, which needs to be submitted by Monday, November the 1st at 5 p.m.
So, I mean, then we need to get together and we figure out on this 2.8, because, I mean, it's gonna be real hard, with dollar amounts from our county attorney and our county clerk. I mean, we can put dollar amounts together for that out of the 2.8 and see what numbers we come up with, but even at that, it's gonna be difficult. I mean, we've gone from all of a sudden doing 40, 80 cases to now it's slowed down, so we don't know what it's gonna do later on. I guess we use the high number and go ahead and put those in there. But I think, again, so we'll work on those numbers, we'll work on those numbers this week and then kind of project, I guess, what we've got coming up. But I would like to go ahead and try to apply for that 250 also. I mean,
That's probably, that's another,
that's what I'm saying, but I want to go ahead, I mean,
yeah, that's the border zone fire department, that,
Yeah, we need to apply for that.
that timeline is in the division. Got a little leeway on that one, but this, stone guard is between now and Monday. The application has to be certified by the authorized official county judge.
that you just lost me there, so I'm going to back up. This 2.8 has to be done by when? The 2.8
Next Monday at 5
Okay.
o'clock.
All right.
We need to submit what our expenditures are by Monday at 2 point. We need to submit all of our expenditures by Monday.
Well, there's a budget in there online, you know, they plug those numbers in, they got itemized.
So we'll get with Chief Bullard and Liz are the ones that were handling that. So we'll need to put our numbers together today and tomorrow to come up with that 2.8. And then we talked about last week about applying for that 250,000, that's the one that you would be handling. So we need to go ahead and put some numbers together for that one as far as our needs on that one. And we need to do that this week.
Yeah, that one would be, you know, you have to, kind of address fire department.
Well, and it's what we talked about earlier also was, you know, we've had fires set at the Moody, we've got all kinds of stuff, you know, so my opinion would be is that right off the bat, I mean, there's another brush truck, a small brush truck, which runs at about 130,000. That right there is absolutely necessary. We've already ordered a big one, $275,000 truck that'll be here next year, but that was paid through county funds, and the 75,000 that Mark ended up getting through the pipelines. But I think part of that 250, 130,000 of it would be a small brush truck, and then we can get with Jerry to figure out what else, they'll need. So we'll do that. When we leave here, we'll get him on the phone, and then we'll get you a list in order to be able to submit that grant, before the week's out. That way you have all your numbers.
If we can have that, bring those numbers back to the court in 2 weeks.
All right. And then the 2.8, we'll have those before the week.
Yes.
And then we'll project out make sure that there's enough funds in there, that are actually covering our attorneys, county court law, county clerk, and then some funds set aside for our attorneys that we're gonna be appointing, in case that happens. That work? Okay. Got a plan. It sounded easy.
Just, so the court is aware that,
We're gonna do that.
the mobile digital ally, the 432,000, that's, it includes a 5-year, reoccurring fee in that. So.
Already in those dollars.
In those dollars, it's going to take care of it for 5 years.
Item 38, we will need it approved.
I will make a motion to approve the resolution to apply for the Operation Lone Star Grant. And I want to say one thing here. These light towers and things, if we need it for other events, the county needs that.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 39, discussion possible action authorizing Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez to apply for, accept, reject, alter, or terminate grant operation Lone Star Border County, grant number 4376601 to include a resolution and CEO law enforcement certifications and assurances form. The same thing?
That's the same thing, yes, sir.
Any discussion? Okay. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 40, discussion possible action authorizing Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez to sign a letter of support or memorandum of understanding between Valverde County and Montgomery County for support during Operation Lone Star.
So there's no action needed on this, so we went with a letter of support instead of an MOU. Visited with the county attorney. This was the easier way to go. Didn't need it. All it is that they've been down here since July, and they want to be able to apply to the state, for a grant. They declared an emergency in their county also. They've been here supporting the efforts here at the processing center. It's not gonna eat into the 2.8. It's their own grant, the governor has for 100 million to other county, for other county.
You want a motion for letter of support, or you're good? Don't worry about it. Okay. No action needed for item 40. Item 41, discussion and approval to authorize county judge to sign agreement with Texas Workforce Temporary Disaster Relief Employment. Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 42, approving human resource report from October 13th, 2021 through October 26th, 2021. Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Jesus Christ. Item 24, discussion possible action to approve the iWork service agreement of applications and services for precinct 3 and granting authority for county judge to sign.
I would like to remove my motion and for approval, look at this found another company we want to look at, both of them will final decision.
Okay. Commissioner Nettleton removes the motion. Commissioner Flores, you okay with that? Good. So we're gonna remove the motion. All those in favor? 5-0 vote.
I'll make a motion to table.
Have a motion, Commissioner Randall.
Alright.
I got more writing on this one than that. I have a motion to table. Commissioner Flood is seconded. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. I don't know if they seconded it or not. Jesus Christ. We did item 43. Item 44, Commissioners' comments. There is none. Okay. Item 45, County Judge's comments. None. All right. Nobody has anything else. This meeting's adjourned. Thank y'all.